Hi everyone, welcome to Tiny 4x4. My name's Mark. In the last video I unboxed the OH32A03 container trailer, and in this video I'll be unboxing the two container options they've released that go with that trailer. So we have a TEU22G1 20-foot container and an FEU42G1 40-foot container. I'm not sure what these naming conventions are referring to really, or where they've come from. It's quite different to Orlandoo's previous models with the OH32 and all the rest of it. Obviously there's a 4 for the 40 foot, a 2 for the 20 foot, but why 22 for a 20 foot container? I don't know. Perhaps Orlandoo have some reasoning behind this, but it's escaping me at the moment, that's for sure. The other thing that's obvious to me immediately is these are in brown boxes, and everything else Orlandoo have released previously comes in a white box with a colour image on the front. So this is quite different. I think they look quite smart actually. Perhaps this is a new direction for them. On the back here we've got some basic information. So we've got dimensions here: 189mm long, 77 wide and 81 high, and the symbols telling you you'll need paint and glue and things to complete the kit. And on the 40 foot it's same width and height and 381mm long. There really isn't going to be any difference in these kits other than the length of the plastic sides, so I will dip into both of them, but there's very little that's going to be different inside the second box. So I think we'll start with the 20 foot. I'll put that to one side for now, and there's nothing else to say about the outside, so let's get stuck straight in. So here we go. So we have stickers and some etched parts. You've got all the code numbers and warning stickers and things that go on the doors, and I think some go on the side of the container. Very nice bit of detail there. It's all repeated in black and in white by the look of it, so depending on what colour container or what colour you decide to paint your container, light or dark, you've got an option that will stand out against the background colour. And large size logos to go on the side, which is nice. You might not want Orlandoo Hunter plastered all over the side of your container, but at least there's an option out of the box. I actually think it's quite a nice logo, that. And then the etched parts. So these are going to fold up into little boxes, and they'll sit at the corners of the container. In the trailer video we found there's catches on the outriggers that lock the container onto the trailer, and it'll be these boxes, once they're made up, that those catches will lock into. I presume they needed to make it etched so that it was fine enough for that system to work. Presumably they'll just glue onto the sides of the container, onto the corners. So that's that bag. Then we have corrugated trailer end, looks like a door aperture, a pair of doors, and then some very fine rods here that will be the locking mechanism for the doors, and a bunch of brackets that those rods will run inside of, and I believe they sort of lift up and down and twist, and that will actually lock the doors closed. So that's nice. I think it's going to be interesting getting those off the sprue and keeping them in one piece until they're on the model. Lots of tiny bits there as well, I'm not sure what they are. And then in this bag we've got a bunch of big chunks of plastic that make up the container sides and top and bottom. So you better get inside one of these bags. One thing that's missing here is a set of instructions. So every other Orlandoo kit comes with some nice detailed instructions, and they're absent here. I'm not sure what the decision making process was there, but presumably the box is too small to get a decent instruction manual inside of. It would be too small to read, so they've opted to make it available digitally. I'll put the link up on the screen. We have a set on the website that you can download for yourself, and yeah, maybe that's just a thing for these containers, maybe that's the direction they're going, I don't know. So we'll get stuck into this and open these bags up. So we'll move those to one side. Looks like there's, oh, it's just a loose little bit of plastic there. So it's really not much to see here, I don't think. Door aperture there and the plastic end piece, and then those tiny detail parts for the locking mechanism and the doors themselves. And then in here I think that's the bottom, and then the side, oh, that's the top I think, and then the two sides. It'd be interesting to know if this is wide enough to drive one of the smaller Orlandoo trucks inside of a Jeep or a Land Rover. I might just try that and see if it's going to fit inside. So here we have an OH32A03 Land Rover that's partially built. The chassis is all together and the body's just plopped on for now. This is the top of the container, but it gives us the footprint, and it looks like the Land Rover is going to fit nicely, at least side to side and front to back. And then if we place it that way against the side, it looks like it's just going to snuck in under the roof as well. So that's fun. You can use these as storage boxes for some of your other models. That's quite a nice touch. I think somebody on the group mentioned that these are really 1/30th scale if you take the measurements against the international standard sizing for a one-to-one container, and perhaps that's why they've made them slightly larger than they should be, partly to fit the trailer, but presumably the trailer is also oversized, but it means that you can get a model inside of them, which I think is probably a better option really than going for exactly. I mean, nobody's going to tell the difference really between 1/30th and 1/32nd, so why not? So I think that's really all we can get out of this box. Might bring the instructions up on screen just briefly to show you them if I can manage that technically. But let's get into the 40-footer now. I'll just clear the decks. So here we go. Let's see what we've got inside. Okay, surprise, surprise, it looks exactly the same as the 20-foot, just a bit longer. Same sticker sheet, same set of etched parts. I presume the 40-foot will use all of these little box things. There's 10 on the sheet, 1 at each corner, 2 halfway along on the bottom, and then 1 at each corner on the top, something like that. I'm not sure. But you don't get a second sheet, so presumably there's enough to go around. Same set of doors, door aperture, container end, and then top, bottom and sides in there. Again the same, just a bit longer. There's some nice weight to these, that's good to see. Other than that, there's really not a lot more to say about this one. I'm not going to bother opening the packets because there's nothing new to see, I don't think. So that's the containers. So I thought it'd be interesting to have a quick look at the instruction manual. This is available to download from the website www.tiny4x4.com. As with the paper manuals, you get a set of diagrams of all the components inside the kit, so with quantities, so 20 screws here, the etched parts, and then the sprues, which are all numbered, and the parts are numbered on the sprues. And then we move into the assembly instructions. The symbol there is showing you that you use modelling glue to attach the sides to the base. Pay attention to the direction of the parts. Obviously everything needs to go on in the right way. It looks like there's tabs on the sides that slot into the end panels. Then the roof goes on, and then we're on to these etched parts being folded up into little boxes, and these are what the catches on the trailer will lock into to attach the container onto the trailer. They're obviously handed. You've got a number 4 and a number 5, helpfully shaded in red and green to make it clear, and you can see there is a subtle but fairly significant difference between the two sides, and it just folds up into a little box. That's going to have to be done with some accuracy, but it looks like it all snaps together at the end. Keep it slightly concave after snapping into the clip, and you can see there they want you to get them so that they'll sit flat on a surface. They then get attached with super glue, that's that symbol there, to the corners of the container, and again, because they're handed, you need to get the right ones onto the right corners the right way round. And then you're doing the other end. Presumably on the 40-foot container there's a couple more that will go halfway along the length of the container. And now we're putting catches onto the door aperture for the locking mechanism. Some more etched components here making up the door hinges by the look of it, and yep, they go onto the end of the container using screws, which is good. And then the hinges are in the open position, the doors go into the frame, and then you close the hinges and screw them onto the doors. So that should be nice and straightforward, and a good way to keep the doors square and true whilst you're inserting the screws. And it means you're going to have fairly robust hinge mechanism there. And now we're putting on those long thin rods that make up the locking mechanism that we saw on the sprues, with all the little brackets that they run inside of. The brackets are glued to the container. Pay attention to the small amount of glue, so you need to make sure you don't get these all gummed up and locked solid, because that wouldn't be good. It's going to require a little bit of finesse to get the gluing just right there. And then some more little etched parts, and those are the mechanism by which the door handles, as it were, lock into place in the closed position. And there's an image there showing you. I don't quite understand how that works looking at the image, but I'm sure it will become apparent once you have it all together. Oh, and now we get a diagram showing where to put all those numbers and things on the ends of the container and on the side of the container, and that's the end of the manual. So if you fancy getting yourself one of these containers, the 20 foot or the 40 foot, and of course the trailer that goes with them, the OH32A03, it's all available in the shop at www.tiny4x4.com. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.